Just you know, right away the whole idea of it was good. I started visualizing it in my mind, and then when I sat and met with them the first time, and they told me the story from sort of beginning to end, we kind of went through most of the elements, and we had the same. You know, having been raised in Sacramento for a little bit myself, I kind of knew the valley towns and how that all was, and so it just all of a sudden it appealed to me, and they appealed to me because they were all different, yet they were all they grew up as a unit, and they were. I just thought it was a very good story to tell. Yeah, well, they're very different. It's hard to explain because they're very different, and yet they're very the same. The same neighborhood, same situation, but there's a certain loyalty of friendship that has lasted over a long period of time, from childhood all the way up to adulthood. And even when you listen to them talk now among themselves, they're very respectful of one another, and nobody's taking credit being the hot shot. They're all together in this thing. So it's just an interesting story about friendship and people doing extraordinary things. Yeah, no, they just feel at the right place at the right time. Some of them approach it from different attitudes than the others. Some of them have like Anthony's father is a pastor of a church in Sacramento, so he has a religious training, and so they can approach it from was this aided by a higher power or not, and they all approach it a little differently, but basically the same. That they were lucky to get fate just played a good hand on them. You know, I just sit down and I try not to. I try to keep everybody comfortable and not thinking too much about it. Just think about it and how to go. But I don't get. I don't like a lot of nervous movement and chatter going on. I like to keep everybody so that they're ready to function normally. Not like, you know, a bomb's going to go off or a whistle's going to go off and tell everybody what to do or not to do. So it works out fine, especially for people who are not experienced with film. And then a lot of times, while the cameras are still rolling, I'll say, now talk about this or do this or what have you. So they're just tricks you learn over the years. They did, yeah, they did surprise me. I didn't. They were much better than I mean, I thought they could be good, but I just didn't. But they jumped right to it. They're very bright. Yeah, I don't know. I never. I do that with almost every film. You never know if they're going to work. You just go ahead and make it. You never anticipate what an audience is going to feel. They're an entity by themselves, and you just hope that they're going along with you. I'd have probably been under one of the seats. I'd have probably been that thin and under one of the seats. No, I don't. I have no idea. Nobody would ever know idea. I'm sure they had no idea until they were there. You know, you just never know in those things, and they're respectful of the fact that fate was on their side. I just think it's just everybody. If you read a book, you read it, and everybody has a dislike or a like, or some sort of an impression of it. Just whatever story impresses me at the time, and if it has a lot of obstacles to overcome, whether they're permanent obstacles or bad memories. I love characters that have some background to them, as a rule. Which these guys, we tell the background with these kids growing up. But like Unforgiven, which was a great script, it was about a person who was haunted by his past, and that figured in all the movements and the stuff that he would make within the story would be as to how he handled what he had been through and the mistakes he had made, and both pro and con. So those all the stories have that. A good story is the key to everything. That's the king. If the story is good, everything kind of can go. If it's not good, you're fighting an uphill battle.